So it's past midnight. I had a pretty productive day as per usual, and I wanted to further build on this momentum and end this day on a high by sharing a perspective with you guys that I once saw before. You see, life is a mirror, not a window. So if you're looking at every single day and you don't like what you see on the outside, you're not going to find a problem out there, nor are you going to be able to fix it by external things. You must look into the mirror, look back at yourself and fix the problem, because that's exactly where it starts, within you. The world is not as it is as you are. I heard this quote several times and I heard it again this morning, but it really struck me this time because the world is as I am. Meaning that the scenarios I create in my head, as I pass it off to other people, as I serve other people, as I live with this positive energy, that will reflect directly back onto myself. And you will never see someone who's successful, who's doing well, who's joyful, who enjoys pushing themselves and getting fulfillment from serving other people, seeing how hard they can work every single day, making themselves proud and creating this one massive empire. You'll never see a person of that nature hating on somebody. You'll never see them commenting in a negative way towards anybody. I've never met a hater that's doing better than me. Not once. Never. Anyone who's ever talked bad to me, whether it's in front of me, whether it's behind my back, whether it's online, who was in a better life position than I was. But even then, I still responded like, thanks, bro. Appreciate it. Even in the comment sections. Because I built up something so strong inside of me that nothing can break it down. Nothing. Because at the end of the day, like I say in every single one of these videos, I have my daily habits and I have my systems that I adhere to and I live by. And no matter what happens, if my habits and my systems are in place, nothing can derail me. Nothing. And I promised that to myself, that I would sacrifice whatever it took to reach my goals. I don't care who I had to cut off, because I know that sometimes in life, in order to make it to the next level, to keep striving, to keep leveling up, you have to cut off a piece of yourself. Physically and metaphorically, just like a lizard losing its tail. No matter how bad it hurts, if you want to grow, you have to cut a piece. And I was willing to go through that. So that's number one I can tell you guys now. If you're getting benched, if you're having issues with your teammates, or worse, you get kicked out of your club like I once did myself, and you just feel like you're alone in this journey of football in life, use that as fuel. We were placed on earth with a void that we need to constantly fill, because we're supposed to have a relationship with the why. Why we were placed on this earth. And our purpose is supposed to be the derivative. What drives us towards our why, our derivative. If you try to fill this massive void, this massive hole inside of you as a footballer with partying, with junk food, and the things that hold you back, with pleasure, with video games, with negative people, whatever it might be, you're going to be constantly trying to satiate that desire, and it's not going to work, because it's never worked. Because you have to fill it with something bigger than you. You have to fill it with something more than you. You have to fill it with a purpose, your derivative, your why. You have to know with full conviction that where you are going to take, where you want to be, is going to take every single cell inside of you. And you have no time to sit there and to wallow in your sadness that your coach benched you, or you missed a penalty, or you got injured, whatever. You have to use it as fuel. You have no time. And this is sidetracked, but if you're 18, 17, 19, if you sit down for a second in life and you think, I could live the rest of my life like this, I'm satisfied with where I am at the moment, then you don't even have to play professional. If you can't even support your own family, if you can't support your teammates, if you haven't even conquered yourself to the point where you're not going to pass on your own insecurities, your own struggles, your own shortcomings onto your close ones, your loved ones, your teammates, then quite frankly, you don't even have to be professional. 2-3 years ago, I would love to have played for a pro club. But back then, I wasn't in the spot that I wanted to be in. And to be honest, back then I was in love with the idea of playing for a pro club and how that would help me unlock my potential and how it would make me feel. But at the time, I was not in love with the exact player I was. And when I think about the club I aspire to play for one day, the club that's much better than me, much better than the current club I'm playing for, even though it's professional, the club that would respect me, that support me, am I the type of player that club would want? I don't think so. I don't think that I have become the level of a footballer that the club that I envision of playing for would possibly want, at least not yet. So you know what that tells me? I need to keep working. I'm not going to chase that club, because that club will be attracted to the player that I will once become in the future. So going back to my point, the world is not as it is as you are. If you think that everything is against you, then it's probably because it is. Like, what do you have to offer? What do you have to give to the world? Think about it. I feel awful, I have no motivation, I can't go to the gym, I cannot create ambition inside myself, I can't look people in the eyes when talking to them, I can't shake people's hands firmly. Well, because you stay up all night. You stay up all night long chasing dopamine, chasing pleasure, and instead of putting yourself through a sacrificial, uncomfortable state. That's what's called sacrifice. Your sacrifice is your comfort. You sacrifice your comfort and you gain the world in exchange. But when you start to realize that you don't care about what you gain, because the gain is the joy that you get from knowing that you're using this as vessel, this machine that you were put on this earth, blessed with the gift of life, the gift of free will. Once you realize this, you don't care about the discomfort. And I believe that our stories have already been written, but I'm not even going to go into this topic because that's a topic for a different video that requires hours of me yapping. Some philosophical thing that we can cover in a different time. But essentially, to summarize, we are the only creature that can choose not to live solely on survival instincts. We'll get into that another day. But we have a little device where we can constantly get gratification and comfort and necessities from 24/7. And the device that has turned us into a nation of lazy footballers that can't stand up for anything little challenging and don't know how to push themselves. And that is the exact player I was. I'm no longer that player, God forbid, but I still lack in so many areas, guys. I still struggle with my drive. I struggle to keep going every single day. I still have to push myself to wake up at the right time. It is still hard for me every single morning and night. But I've made it a non-negotiable that the things I tell myself that I'm going to do, I will do them. I will do them 100% of the time. And I'm yelling, guys, because I'm losing my voice, because I'm passionate. I wish somebody would have looked at me when I was 15, someone I looked up to preferably, and told me this information with this much emphasis, guys. So I could have sat down and been like, damn, contemplating what I had just heard. Maybe I don't need to sit every single day and play video games. Maybe instead of trying to fill in that void, that massive hole inside of me, oh, I feel so lonely, so I deserve to do this. I deserve to sleep in a bit more. I deserve to hang out with my friends or the girls. I deserve to party. I deserve all of that because I feel lonely inside. It doesn't work, guys. It doesn't work. It's never worked and it will never work. The only time when I'm constantly in a state of flow, a state of joy, is when I'm serving other people, when I'm using myself as an outlet of positivity, when I'm waking up to serve, to make myself better so I can be better for you guys also, and for my friends, my family, the people around me. That is the only way, because it's something much bigger than me, much bigger than myself. And I know you can sit there and be like, who's this 19-year-old kid with his fancy quarter zip and his, yelling at his phone? And it's great. I understand. These videos will not be for everybody, guys. But in a few years, people are going to come back to these videos and watch them and go, look at the state I'm currently at, and do the comparison and go, damn, that kid was determined, and he was predetermined in his destination. He decided that nothing was going to stop him from reaching to his goals. And I'm telling you right now, not in like an egotistical way, but in a way that I'm proud. I'm willing to sacrifice what other people aren't willing to sacrifice so I can get to places that other people aren't willing to go. I want to be in discomfort almost 100% of the time so that other footballers like yourself can experience more comfort, so that you guys can be respected, wanted by clubs and coaches, so that other players can know that life is not hopeless, that life is not constant pain and struggle, because you'll begin to discover constant joy and constant fulfillment when you live a purpose-driven life. I break my purpose-driven life down to 4 pillars. I call it the 4 pillars of a man. The mindset, the habits, the training, the nutrition. And as a player, it's another 4 pillars: technical, tactical, mental, and physical. That's what I preach inside of EFA. And it sounds silly, but it's so real, because all of those things build on top of each other. And when you realize that you are sitting, wasting the greatest gift that you have, which is time, the most valuable asset, and the fact that you have a soul and you can help other souls regain their love for football. When you realize there's one thing, you will start to transcend beyond what can I do for myself in that moment to what can I do for other people in that moment. I, by myself, cannot wake up at 7 a.m. in the morning and work till 2, 3 a.m. at night some days. But every person that I've impacted floods into my mind as soon as my alarm goes off. And every single one of you guys gets me up the next day and the next day and the next day, because I know that if I hold myself to a highest accountability possible, that others will hold themselves accountable too. And together, we will start to change all of that has corroded and from this life. And as I was saying earlier, you might be sitting here like, who is this 19-year-old with his quarter zip yelling at his iPhone at midnight? What has he done? Listen, just like you guys, many of you guys, I started my career taking it seriously at 14. I knew nothing. I had no idea what I was doing. So I would consider myself like a hard worker at the time, from 14 to 16. But at 16, I fully immersed myself. I started paying attention in school. I started working with a coach, a mentor, a nutritionist. I started reading books. I started working out in the gym. If I wasn't at the gym or at the field at that time, I was working. That's all I was doing. And that's why I was able to sign semi-professional at the age of 16, make my semi-professional debut. That's why I was able to play at the highest division in Spanish football for youth. That's why I play for a professional club today. I will continue to rack my brain. I will continue to think, what can I give today? What can I give today through my content? Whether it's my Instagram, whether it's my YouTube. That's what I think is my calling. I was put on this earth to serve as many people as possible. And I'm going to start putting out more and more videos like this to serve you guys. And like I said, if I impact one person, that changes my internal state. Knowing that if I can impact at least one person every single day, I feel fulfilled. That's what brings me joy. I will go through whatever discomfort, whatever pain I have to go through in order to create a footballer that can serve others, but also themselves with all of their being. And how blessed am I? Like, how blessed am I to be able to do all these things? Like, I woke up this morning, this is kind of off topic, but I woke up this morning, as I was doing my routine, I walk outside, do my grounding, planning for the day. I was just sitting there and contemplating life for a second. How grateful am I? I looked up to the sky, it was clear. Wow. How blessed am I? How blessed am I to get to live this human experience? Because there is no rule book that says we are guaranteed another day. There is no rule book that says that we are guaranteed health. There is no rule book that says we are guaranteed a roof over our heads. There's no rule book that says we are guaranteed other people that love us. And even if you feel like you have no one that loves you, trust me, there are people in this world that care about you and love you. But again, there is no rule book in the world that says we deserve to be loved. We are owed absolutely nothing. Nothing. Yet still every single day, almost all of us get to wake up healthy. And it's taking me so long to realize this, but I get to wake up every day and I get to work out and I get to help other people. And this is what I have to stress about. This is what's going to take me to the next level. How blessed am I? Truly, it gives me goosebumps, guys. And when you can transcend to the level of thinking, that level of thinking specifically, because I'll tell you right now, 3 years ago, if I watched this video, I would have been like, oh, this video is so corny, so cringy. What is this guy talking about? How blessed am I? He doesn't know anything about me, what I've been through, like talking about being blessed. No, now I have way more problems to go through than that little boy did 3 years ago. Back then I was sleeping all day long, doing pointless training, eating junk food, not getting good grades at school, making my points disappointed. I was bringing all those problems onto myself, yet I was blaming the world for my circumstances instead of looking at the mirror and going, you know what? I'm going to make a change. And I've watched the world around me change. That's not what I was doing. I was blaming everything else instead of looking at the mirror and challenging myself. And that's exactly what I challenge you guys to do as well today. Challenge on changing this one thing. Don't have to go big. Just have this mindset shift. Have this mental shift right now. Start small. Conquer your mind. Conquer your thoughts. Conquer this one concept. And you will start to see the noticeable change within you. And then others will notice the change. The environment will change. You'll no longer look at life as a window. Blame external forces, external beings for your ups and downs, but you'd rather blame everything for your own being, the good or the bad. And once you can have this mindset shift, which I challenge you guys to do today, then everything will clock for you as well. And I believe in you guys. But again, without that self-intrinsic belief, if you don't believe in yourself, then forget about it. I believe in you guys, but do you believe in yourself? Because I do, and I know you can do it. So best of luck. and I'll see you in the next video.